Hi everyone, welcome to your latest planning outlook that's updated on Friday the 20th of March. High pressure is built in and will be around generally over the next week to 10 days, so drier conditions overall compared to many recent weeks and months. We do still have one or two problems though with a strengthening southwesterly wind, giving gales across the mountains as we start the new week, so not all plain sailing. Now I'll show you the usual temperature chart at 850 millibars with the word of caution that with higher pressure around, this is now higher up than the mountain tops, this representing around 1500 metres, so you're a bit higher by 150 metres or so than the highest Scottish tops, so the temperature's not directly corresponding as much as, say, in the wintertime when pressure has been lower. We can get a feel for where the general air mass is going though, and we've got a chilly east by southeasterly through this weekend and temperatures generally staying sub-zero on many higher mountains. There will be some diurnal variation where temperature will tend to lift toward or even just above freezing on the high tops into the afternoon. And that pattern will repeat onwards over a good few days ahead with a tendency for those temperatures to rise generally. Alpine conditions then we'd call it on the mountains, where essentially the terrain has got snow cover, certainly pretty extensive in Scotland. It will refreeze overnight as temperatures dip away below freezing on both the mountains and in the valleys and the glens, but with daytime temperatures and the strengthening of the March sunshine, there will be a lift of those values and some daytime thawing, and that cycle will continue day on day as we go onwards into next week, with the tendency for temperatures by day to be a bit higher than we're seeing just in the immediate short term at least. This is how the charts are looking, and high pressure lies to our east as we go into Saturday. The strongest of the easterly wind is affecting Wales and southern parts of the Pennines. It's a south-southeasterly across the Highlands, not quite as strong. Locally, though, could be a bit gusty. Generally, it's a fair day with some sunshine, some well-broken cloud, just filling in a little bit in the afternoon, and just beware of that frost in the morning and again onwards into Saturday evening. Doesn't look quite as windy across Wales into Sunday, but that easterly component will still be there and it will take the edge off the temperatures very much on the mountains. A weak front away toward the far northwest may just interfere with western Scotland, but shouldn't cause too many concerns on the whole. It's broadly a dry day again, and some sunshine around, a bit of high cloud around that front in the far north. Now that south-southwesterly flow will be the main headline story into next week on the mountains, because it will be gale force, very strong and gusty in places, blowing down slope and through into some corries across the Highlands, so one to be aware of for the early stages of the week for that strength of wind. We've got a front which lies toward the northwest, which will make slow inroads into the Highlands, maybe some patchy rain and some low cloud just fringing into the far west. A bit of uncertainty how far that gets, so keep an eye on your forecasts. For many places, though, it's a dry story, and the least of the wind is across England and Wales. Not a great deal changing in that chart into Tuesday. As I say, that front is just encroaching in maybe a bit further. If it does, it might be that Skye and the west-northwest Highlands do just see some rain that sets in for a spell. Get further south than, say, Mull, and you may see little, if anything, of that. And elsewhere, then, it's a dry story. We're still, though, watching that strength of wind, which could be powerful across many of the Scottish mountains. Lighter winds again, England and Wales. Into midweek, and what's left of that front is still hanging around. It may start to sink a bit further southwards than suggested here. We're just watching what that one does. The high seems to be opening out a bit again, though, so we do lose the strongest of those winds by that time. Overnight frost, and then temperatures will lift by day. Onwards into the later part of next week, the high pressure which is located just to the east of us, quite a broad feature generally across northern Europe, and that high may just start to recenter itself once again. There's uncertainties just how things play out later in the week, it must be said. So we've got low pressure which is around Spain and Biscay, which may just start to interfere with things a little bit if that pushes northwards. There's low pressure away towards Iceland as well, and we're stuck rather in no man's land in the middle, so quite at the mercy of which of these weather patterns eventually becomes the strongest. Overall, low high pressure towards the west may start to edge back in, not before it turns the wind flow perhaps around to the north-northwest for a day or so, so we're watching out for maybe some cool and showery conditions just coming back from the north for maybe a day or so, either late in the week or next weekend, but we'll keep an eye on those details. I think the message to take further ahead, even to the very end of the month and perhaps to the start of April, is that high pressure looks as though it's nearby, so plenty of generally settled weather should be in the longer range outlook. We'll keep an eye on things as always. Stay up to date with all your local details and updated every day on our website. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.